What's up? Real MVPs, Ricky Widmer here, and first off, I'm along with Dave Oster.
Hey, everybody.
And we have a special announcement as this is our Bulls podcast, which first off, I am throwing out this challenge to all of you at home. We don't have a name yet for it. We don't know if we're going to have a name yet for it. What should we call this? That's basically your assignment down in the comment section. What should the name of the MVP Bulls podcast be? But after I get into that, we have a special announcement also as Dave, MVP has made a special 10-day contract signing. I don't know if you were aware of this, but we have joining with us a 10-day contract. We'll see how it goes after a couple podcasts, see if the flow is there. But Chainsaw, welcome into the Bulls podcast. How you doing?
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you. I'm doing good. Thank you.
For those of you who do not know or are not in the MVP Discord, join that down below. Chainsaw is also an avid Bulls super fan. And Chainsaw, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't want to put words in your mouth. You're one of those people where you only watch the Bulls. And there are some people out there who want to make fun of you for it. But you go, hey, man, that's who I am. I only watch the Bulls. I don't care about the rest of the NBA.
Yeah, you could say that. I just don't have the same interest for any of the teams, just like the Bulls. I mean, I watch them. I don't do anything else. I just, when they play, that's game time. You know what I mean? So.
I mean, I don't think it's a negative for a Bulls-only podcast that you only watch the Bulls. I feel supremely confident in how passionate you are going to be about the Bulls, because if that's getting 100% of your attention, I'm a little afraid, honestly, of the combination of you and Ricky. It's a lot of passion on one show. And I feel like I have to be the rational person in this conversation.
And here's the other thing I love about the potential of adding you in, Chainsaw. Dave and I are 90s Bulls fans. We grew up as kids in the 90s. The second three-peat was kind of like our glory days from ages 6 to 8. You were somebody, though, that you didn't get into the Bulls until the Derrick Rose days. Those are the days that are like what the Jordan era is for us, the Rose era is for you. I'm just very sad that the Rose era didn't end like it was supposed to, and it ended the way it did.
Yeah, and you know what? When the Rose era was a thing back in 2009 to what,
early 2010s.
I was in third or fourth grade, so I honestly really started watching the Bulls every game, every season, really during the Boylan era.
The same thing.
Right after we traded Jimmy is really when I started to really pay attention. Before that though. Yeah, before that, I would box score watch. I won't even lie. Watch highlights, but my first full season was the 2018 season, and then the Boylan era, and here we are today, 2023, and we have Karnisovas.
Yep, the thumb. Ricky's got it all pinned down there. On the upside, it gives everybody good perspective, knowing that you've been a locked-in fan for that many years, and you've seen truly some of the lowest that we could possibly go through more recently.
Yeah, it's been tough.
It's been tough.
I'll be so honest, man. I think that last year was the hardest season I had to watch, because now we weren't the worst we've been, but
expectations are fickle.
Yes, so I had no real expectation for really. Aside from our young guys getting better and taking steps, which really haven't worked out, other than someone named Zach LaVine, at least with us on our team, we have, an aging DeMar DeRozan, and it's an aging core, and unfortunately our young point guard has arthritis, but, you know what? It was a low. Last year was a low for me in my eyes. It was hard to watch, and it was just a lot of things that happened was... Oh, it was just kind of, some of it was infuriating sometimes, but here we are. New season in what, three months?
Hey,
less than 3 months?
New season in 3 months.
I mean, it's already now. We've already
started now.
Summer League Bulls, and that was a sight for sore eyes. If you expected improvement, you expected wrong.
If you expected to see names that might be on the team, you were wrong. That's that's what we call a tease. We'll talk about that later on, Dave. as we are talking about free agency today, before we do get into everything, the last thing I couldn't jam into our chainsaw intro is patreon.com. Support us down below if you love getting these. This one is kind of like actually, you know what? I think it is going to be early. So yeah, if you want to get these early, Patreon, be a part of our, I think it's the plus tier is what we call it. You get podcasts like this 4 days before anyone else. Patreon link down below. But we're talking about free agency, guys. Dave and I did a draft video. I don't know what sufficed of that video because, Dave, I know you, after recording it, were not happy with it. I also was not happy with it from a personal standpoint. Things got a little bit away from me. Not away from us, away from me. As I was very angry after the draft. I can promise you I am not as angry after free agency. But that's because, okay, I'm happy that Ayo's back. We will get into that. But also the guys that are additions to the team, I'm not overly mad at. As just an overview, how free agency went for us. First, Andre Drummond. He's coming back. He opted into his last year of his deal. We re-signed Kobe White on a 3-year, $36 million deal. We re-signed Ayo on a 3-year, $21 million deal. We get unrestricted free agent Javon Carter on a 3-year deal, $19.5 million. We get Torrey Craig on this one's a 2-year deal at $5.3 million. Only free agency we lost, Pat Bev. Jake's going to love you in Philly. He should love you in Philly because you're a great player. He signs a 1-year deal with the Philadelphia 76ers. Javonte Green is still out there unsigned. Derrick Jones Jr. still unsigned. I believe we cut Marco, right? Marco got cut officially.
Marco was cut. The Marco era is over. Yep.
So basically where we'll start, and Chainsaw, I'm going to throw this to you first. I'm going to give you the ball first because you're the new guy. Out of the two newcomers to the Bulls, Javon Carter, Torrey Craig, which one are you more excited in? Which one should Bulls fans be more excited in, Carter or Craig?
So I think as a majority, Bulls fans would probably be more excited with Javon Carter. In my opinion, though, Torrey Craig. Torrey Craig is someone I've wanted to see in the Bulls for a little while now, simply because we have had an awful depth chart for forwards. I still think we kind of need another one, but we'll get into that maybe later. But yeah, I think Torrey Craig, he provides, the defense that we need, the shooting somewhat. He is average. Maybe that's better than Derrick Jones Jr. But I think for me, Torrey Craig, I really like that pickup. He honestly, depending on how Pat comes out swinging this year, he might fight for him for the starting lineup. But also, not to take credit away from the Javon Carter signing, that was a really solid signing for how much we paid for him. He provides the shooting that we desperately need at the point guard position. We saw the void with your buddy Ayo. And he also plays defense too, so that'll be really. What's that?
He's a dog.
Yeah, and he's a dog.
He's exactly what we need.
He's a dog. He gives his team the fire that we'll miss from Pat Bev. Yeah, so that's kind of my take on that. I think Bulls fans should be really excited about the Javon Carter signing. I liked what we did in free agency. To be honest with you, I thought we had a better free agency than I thought we were gonna have coming into it. To be quite honest. I thought we were just, I thought we were going to run it back with Pat Bev. And, I mean, that's good and all. Pat Bev is like you said, a great player.
I think Pat Bev's got other things on the mind. He wants a team that might be a little bit closer to one of these than us.
Yep.
And he picked the wrong team.
I know he did, but you can't argue that the 76ers are closer than us at least, right?
I mean, maybe. You could argue. you could easily argue that team is a hot mess right now.
Oh, I know. Like James Harden not being there, like that. Let's be honest. That's what Pat Bev is looking more at than the Bulls, even though it was a great influence to us. Dave, what about you? You are you on the Carter train then? Are you completely opposite to Chainsaw?
No, I mean, it's weird because Javon Carter is not like a traditional point guard by any means, but he does fill a need for us in that role where he's just able to stretch the floor and play good defense for us with a solid size at the point guard position. He's not but what I mean is like he's not a traditional like pure point guard. He's not like a floor general or anything like that. You're not going to see him rack up 7 assist games, 8 assist games. Like he's a stocky guy who is like built out muscle wise, but like he is not going to be able to slice up defenses. He's going to be able to take open shots, take advantage of the space that's going to be created from, pick and pops with Vucevic, from letting Zach and DeMar take over. He's another guy who can help hopefully achieve the ultimate goal, which is adding spacing to that offense, adding 3-point volume to that offense. Take shots for sake, Bulls. Take 3-pointers because we can't be 27th, 28th, 29th and threes taken and expect to win games. The amount of, I think I was reading through the stats. Somebody pulled like a horrible list of like Bulls stats from last season in which we lost games by less than like 6 points. It's an insane number how close we were able to play teams last year. But because our 3-point volume is so low, it also adds in the fact that, like, hey, if we had somebody who's taking 6 threes a game rather than a guy who's taking 1.83 a game, like maybe we wouldn't lose by 6 or less. Maybe we would be in a much better position. And obviously, I'm speaking a lot of maybes and ifs and buts. But they're doing the right things to address that. So between Carter bringing in, volume shooting from 3, Torrey Craig, a guy who is happy to pull the trigger from 3. I think both of those signings bring in nice vets who help us achieve the ultimate goal, which is stretching out the floor and holding teams accountable, hopefully.
Right.
I don't really think that there's like a downside to either one of those signings. Torrey Craig, I could see taking the starting role from Pat Williams just because Pat looked a little more confident coming off the bench. And I don't know if I'm going to blame Billy Donovan for that, for his rotations. Might be an issue. Might be like, hey, maybe Pat, when he doesn't share the floor with both Zach and DeMar, turned into a different player. Maybe in situations like he can shine more as a second option rather than a 4th or 5th option offensively. So you have to put him in those positions, but like he's in our closing lineup because he's one of our best defenders. So I think we could see lineups where, we go extremely small and you have Pat and Craig out there at the same time with like Zach. And then we really have really nice spacing with DeMar off the floor. Like you could do a lot of interesting things. So we're a very switchable team when it comes to, our lineups at this point, instead of having to be forced into playing someone like Alex Caruso at the 4 because of desperation.
Well, and I mean, the thing too that I'm looking at, Dave, to go off of your point is wanting to pull up the stats, and the stat for team points from 3-pointers.
Yeah.
The best in the league. Who do you guys think it was? Points per game off of 3-pointers.
Sure feels like Golden State would be a top 5 in that
49 Golden State. Right below them, Boston at 46.9.
Boston was all about shooting.
Do you want to know where the Bulls ranked on this top 30 list?
I would assume 29.
30.
Oh, wow.
We were
worse.
30 because there was a team that was 0.3 more than us, the Rockets. Us and the Rockets, dead last.
Anytime you lose to the Rockets in a category, it should tell you just what you're doing wrong.
The Lakers were right above both of us at 32. They had 1 more point off of 3-pointers than us per game.
To be fair, Anthony Davis doesn't shoot threes. LeBron James should not shoot threes.
Hillbilly Kobe was the only one shooting threes, right?
They had D'Lo.
Rui. He was taking them after all the games. Getting ready for next
season. Every game, he was taking those threes.
It's getting ready for this season.
Poor playoff D'Lo.
But so for me, I actually trick question. I'm going to do the thing that Ricky loves to do. I'm not going to give you one answer. I'm going to give you 2. I love them both.
I love it. Yeah.
I love them both, and the reason why is Javon Carter fills a need. Lonzo, arthritis, ain't playing. We need some sort of veteran guard. Also, the thing I love about Javon Carter, that Ayo fits into this, Liberty Freedom would have fit into this.
No longer
born in Chicago. He was born in Oak Park, grew up in Maywood, hometown kid.
Oh, nice,
I love that.
nice.
Love that. But also Torrey Craig, like Chainsaw, you mentioned, we need front court help. The 3 and the 4 is going to be difficult for us this year because, Dave, you mentioned playing Alex Caruso at the 4 out of necessity. Looking at our roster, though, our guards are probably going to be Javon Carter, Caruso, Ayo, Kobe, AC. Then you got Karlik Jones and Dalen Terry. Hopefully they even get minutes this year because they didn't last year. Dalen had the fewest minutes. Karlik Jones, G League MVP. When you're looking at our bigs, our 5s, you got Vucevic, Drummond, Sanogo, more of a 5, more of a 4. And then you got the forwards. You basically got DeMar DeRozan, P. Will, Torrey Craig. And then after that, it's whether Julian Phillips, does he get minutes? I have to double check on our roster to see if this guy's even on there. This guy, I'm not going to say Lewis's name. No, Lewis hasn't signed yet, so he's not even
Justin
on the
Lewis,
team right now.
Not technically. Bidham, though, arguably a combo tweener.
But as a two-way,
he's a wang.
He's gonna spend more time in the G League than the NBA, right?
Maybe.
I mean, it's all on Billy Donovan, to be 100% honest with you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If Billy, let's be honest, Billy is not going to use him. No, I'm just Look, we're T minus.
Billy, he ain't going to use him.
We're T minus what, 2.5 months from the start of the season. I don't know why I'm even trying to show a shred of positivity about him using Bidham in that.
But you say we won't have to use Alex Caruso at the 3. I think we are this year.
At the 4. I said the 4.
Okay, I think Alex could.
We probably still will because Billy Donovan's why not play 4 guards in Vucevic? Why even use Vucevic? 4 guards and Drummond's the likely lineup. Let's be honest. That's where that's going. You need someone to be a vacuum for the rebounds. You put Drummond on the court with 4 guards.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually a good idea. It worked out for us in the past. I hate to say he had some good. I don't hate Billy Donovan. I just am annoyed by his. I
still wonder if he's the right coach for the job, though.
Are you about to tap into a certain theory about a coach?
No,
who happens before the coach?
This is not the Mark Jackson theory.
Okay.
This is just it's not that I think Billy Donovan is horrible. It's not because I think there's a better option out there. It just doesn't seem like it's going to get us to where it's not going to get us to where we ultimately want to be. But at the same time, I have the inner monologue in my head of, are we, like you said, the Mark Jackson theory that I have, are we in the Mark Jackson days? Not necessarily that the next coach is going to be the one to bring us to the promised land, but our aspirations should not be NBA finals. They should not be NBA finals because there's no way this team wins the finals. Is that how we should be thinking as Bulls fans? Which sucks because every fan base wants to believe we can win the finals.
We were 1 game away, right? We were arguably a quarter away because if we beat the Heat and the Heat were in the finals,
I love the way you think.
Property.
I'm going to love the way you think, Dave. I'm going to love the way you think.
No, I'm purely joking in the idea of this is apparently serious. What came out of the Karnashevas Eversley front office was, I think, we lost to the runner-up to the champion. So in theory, our team was just this close to being that team.
Okay. I'm going to say this.
I want to hear Chainsaw's thoughts on this.
Go ahead, Chainsaw.
I don't know, man. I've heard that, and it's
from me. You heard it from me.
And Bull's Twitter. And
I said it in all seriousness in the Discord, man.
You have. No, I know. It's tough because you know what? We swept them during the regular season. We were up 5 with 3 minutes to go in the 4th quarter.
This is why I think it, though. This is why I'm not mad at AK for making that. Milwaukee, Giannis got injured. We could have, it might not have been in 5, but we could have competed with Milwaukee without Giannis.
Do you remember what they did to us last year?
That was with Giannis, Dave.
Without him.
He didn't have to be on the court.
Dave, I'm saying...
No. Look at those games. When he wasn't on the court, we still got our asses dragged through the mud. Now I understand last year was a different team. We were also hurt.
I don't think the Bucks team of last year was the Bucks of this year. Well, 2 years ago to last year, because technically this year is upcoming.
You know what I mean?
Like the thing about the Heat is you look at their road. Giannis was injured in that Bucks series. Bucks only got one game on him. The New York Knicks, that would have been an interesting series because of the Thibodeau effect coming back. Would we have lost to the Knicks? Maybe, but I don't think so. And then Boston completely crapped the bed. They got the like any team in the NBA could have beat the Celtics that series. That's how bad they played. Dave, the Celtics played horrible that series. They played absolutely horrible. Okay, maybe the Rockets wouldn't have beat them. That's going way too far. But like if you put the Timberwolves in that series, the Timberwolves could have beat them that series. Is what I'm saying.
Okay, can we not slander the Timberwolves?
No.
The Timberwolves gave the champions the hardest games they had through the entire playoffs.
Dave,
can we talk about that for a second?
Dave,
no, because you're trying to slander the second best performing team in the playoffs and the Timberwolves, according to the champions.
No, I'm just pulling the other 8
I don't know
seed.
why I'm getting so agitated.
Yeah, I know.
That.
I'm just pulling the other 8 seed. That's all I'm doing. Like I looked at the West. I took the 8 seed in the West.
But the 8 seed in the West wasn't the worst team in the playoffs.
Then who's the worst team in the West last year? Playoff teams. Who was the worst one then? The Lakers?
Who went out first?
What do you mean who went out first?
Probably the Suns. Probably the Suns were the worst team in the West.
The Suns.
How about the Grizzlies?
The Suns made it to the second round.
Grizzlies were rough. Yeah, but I mean the Suns got fucked.
Like
murked.
the teams you're looking at, the only teams that only won one game in the West, the Clippers and the T-Wolves. They were the ones that went out first. The Clippers, I think, could have beaten the Celtics. Like the Celtics just played bad. Like that's all I'm saying. Like there was a chance for the Bulls to catch fire and just go on a run, like the Heat did. The Heat caught fire. Let's be honest.
Ricky, who's the head coach?
Oh, I know. Eric Spoelstra, way better of a coach than Billy Donovan.
Second best coach in the NBA right now, right?
I get that. That plays into it.
NBA right now, top 10 all time.
No. I get that, but the whole
and then the coach of the opposing team, the Boston Celtics, is a first year coach who has no history.
Yes,
and who seemingly doesn't have the full respect of the team and have the whole team together. So I just want to point out the fact that maybe you're twisting this a bit more out of proportion than the fact that he got out coached and then he got outplayed because Jimmy Butler, Bam, and them got into the Boston Celtics head. The Grant Williams situation did not help feed and fuel into the fire. It was a whole just everything came together to say F you Boston in a perfect way.
I get that. My ultimate point.
I want to backpedal the Bucks though, real quick though.
Mm-hmm.
You're forgetting the one big key theme of this season.
Go ahead.
The Bulls, when it comes to a team on paper being better matched,
we played up.
Underperformed. If a team is missing their best player, we shit the bed.
Yeah.
If a team has their best player, we overperform.
So Giannis being injured would have hurt us. You're totally right.
I don't know.
That would have hurt us because Giannis ain't out there. We take him easy.
Throughout the entire season, it was that way. That's, I guess, to your point. Would we match up well with the Celtics? I mean, we didn't look terrible against them in the regular season. Now, this is the regular season, and I'm not saying the Celtics are a better team because they are. The Celtics are a way better team. I'm just saying we did play. We played up against good teams, and we played down to teams that when they had their best player hurt, or they're just worse. How about the games against the Magic or the Rockets?
Don't get Magic fans going. Like my only point off of it is, were the Bulls for sure going to get to the finals if it would beat Miami? Probably not. We have no idea of knowing. I just look at that Miami road, and yes, Miami had a great coach. They had players playing right at the right time, but you look at their road and it's like they got some breaks. They definitely did get some breaks. Like you can't completely turn the other eye and say no, they didn't get any breaks. Like they got some breaks playing the Giannis injury, the Celtics.
The hardest path.
They did not have the hardest path.
I'm fucking with you.
Because when they actually ran into an actual NBA team, they lost.
No, they ran into the best team in the NBA.
Yeah,
with the MVP of the NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They ran into what the Celtics should have been able to do to them. That's what they ran into. But we digress. Getting back to the Bulls, the other thing I wanted to bring up about Carter and Craig, which I want to use as a positive, but I don't know how. Okay, I'm just going to get into it. They both played for teams that have championship-esque rosters. The only problem is both of them joined the team. Craig, it was the Suns. For Carter was the Bucks. Both of them joined the team after those two made the finals. So they never went to the finals with those two teams, but they were veterans, a part of championship number one seed-esque cultures. That's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Like I should look at that and say that's a positive, right, Chainsaw?
I would say that's a positive for sure. You know what? I think they're gonna definitely bring some fire to the team. Maybe not like a Pat Bev. But yeah, I think definitely, they've been, they've been on other teams where they've had crazy success elsewhere. Maybe not because of them, but they've seen the culture, they've seen around them. And obviously some nights we looked like the Walking Dead. We looked like a very zombie team before Patrick Beverley. So we need players like that have, like you said, come from like different teams, better teams with championship aspirations or playoff teams. They have a different culture about them, and we saw that when Patrick Beverley came into fruition with us.
Will either of them be able to fill the personality role of Pat Bev, though? Because like Pat Bev, I loved because he lit a fire under this team's ass that Zach and DeMar just couldn't do.
I don't think so. And you know what? I give Patrick Beverley so much respect for that. Respect I never had for him before that. But yeah, I don't think so, to be honest with you. Dave, what do you think?
You said the big word there in culture, and I'm glad you called out the contributions of Patrick Beverley in his short time with the Bulls, calling out the lack of leadership in the locker room, calling out Zach LaVine for not being the guy in the locker room, not caring night in, night out when he has to because he's supposed to be our number one. Honestly, as contentious... No, he's supposed to be. As contentious as Patrick Beverley is when he's not on your team, he sure shined a bright light on the issues that were going on in the Bulls locker room for the entirety of the season. Like you said, we play down to bad teams and we play up to good teams, which means, guess what? We're marking the calendar. We know exactly what we're walking into. And you're going to get like 60% effort if we're playing a team that's, someone they deem not worth trying against, or someone who is resting their star player. And they're like, oh, well, he's not playing, so why should I have to try 100%? Like that was the vibe of this team. It felt like they went so far out of their way to prove a point that we could beat winning teams this year. Because last year, the whole story was we beat up on bad teams so well, but our record against winning teams was horrific. Oh, yeah. So, like, this was, like, the flip story of the year. But culturally, like, it was just clear that, like, we're not willing to turn it on every game. That ain't us. Which, there's 82 games. It's a long season. I kind of want to understand that. But at the same time, I have to believe that there aren't, this isn't normal for every locker room to go, I'm going to go about 60% tonight. You guys should be able to figure out the rest, though. Like, that's not what we should hear out of our number one option. And, I love DeMar as, the vet, the mentor for the young kids. I love what he does in the offseason for us, but he is not the outspoken guy. And that's why Pat Bev shaking up our was great and calling out the fact that, like, hey, someone has to hold these people accountable because our coach isn't, our front office isn't. I'm afraid that neither Craig nor Javon Carter will be that guy for us either. What is interesting to me is like DeMar spoke highly of Torrey Craig's defensive prowess, and obviously Javon Carter coming in from the Bucks, where he played in a small role, but he had to be efficient. He had to be good because on the Bucks they were flipping guys off the court quickly. If you weren't performing, guess what? Bench, done. Don't need it. Like. They were very quick to pull the trigger on guys and make sure that they always were getting results out there. So I'm hoping that their expectations from their former teams do not fall off because our locker room perhaps does not take it as seriously, does not give it 110% every night in and out.
Yeah, I agree. And I was actually going to ask you about that. Because the story of 2021 was we couldn't beat good. What were we 0-19 against good teams
Something
or
filthy.
something ridiculous? And it's like the script was completely flipped.
Yeah.
And it was, dude, I'm telling you right now, when we matched up against those young athletic teams that went out and ran, you got your Magic, the Rockets, the Pacers. Those were some hell games, man.
The Thunder, even. I mean, just
oh my God, yeah.
Everybody who could run cooked us.
Yes.
It was very obvious that we are old, we are slow, our offense is not working because we don't have a point guard, and we hope that we addressed it with a guy who typically has not been, like the master passer here, but he should be good enough to get it by, is the hope.
Yep.
Or, we always have plan B in Kobe, and it sounded like
play him at the
year,
2, not the 1, Dave.
Well, I know he's a combo guard.
I don't want to see point guard Kobe. I'll see shooting guard Kobe.
He's not a starter, and they've already made that clear by saying that they see him as a 6th man of the year candidate, which I love.
Comment. Like don't put too high of expectations on him. Maybe he'll play better.
Look, we got defense out of him this year, which was fantastic. Because he's an athlete. He should be able to play good defense. Now he's putting in the effort. We're getting maximum effort. Kobe White out there looks great. I'm all in on that. I think he's still growing as a talent. Like I do think that we're going to see him try to run point for us again this season. Because our other options are what? Ayo Dosunmu, who struggled mightily this past season, who you couldn't even have him on the court sometimes because he just created problems for us. Guys wouldn't respect his shot, and he was even having issues with his decision making too, leading to some costly turnovers for us because he just hesitated. Like it's like he had so much success to begin his career with the Bulls, like unexpectedly with no expectations.
And confidence.
It was just like
I think he had confidence year 1. He lost his confidence quickly year 2. Yeah,
everything was a second guess, and I think that hesitation hurt him a lot in year 2. So like. We're in a situation where we know Alex Caruso's not a point guard, but he is, he's this toolsy defender for us. And I hope his shot comes back a little bit more this year. But I think you're going to see point Kobe happen because he's literally the 2nd or 3rd best option, depending on how you see Ayo Dosunmu at this point in time.
Ideally, how it fits in my head is our second unit, like backcourt wise, has the potential, and I know that's a word people hate to hear is potential.
I love to hear it.
Well, no. Like the whole thing with whenever I read things, you mentioned Ayo Dosunmu. I love Ayo. I will always love Ayo. I make the joke that there's only one other person who will cheer for him harder than me, and that's his own mother. But I mean, Ayo had a bad year last year. Did we overpay for Ayo? Yes, we did. Cannot deny that. However,
there we go.
Well, we did, but however on that, I know that you two are against it. I'm not, only because 2 reasons. 1, I would have been sick to my stomach again because we bring up Bulls history this podcast, this episode. We have a trend of, guy doesn't work for us or we don't want to pay him that much, letting him leave or trading him, and then they play better somewhere else. I didn't want that to happen this time. Because to me, I see the potential in Ayo, and I know that the year we saw in his rookie year, that's what Ayo can be and build off of. And to me, the thing I would love to see for our second unit, and I'm going to throw out 2 names, and you guys, I know Dave's going to get like this. I'm not saying they're going to be exactly like this, but the role is I would love for Ayo and Kobe to work next to each other. Ayo at the 1, Kobe at the 2. Ayo the facilitator. He doesn't have to stand in a corner, and then he's not a catch and shoot guy from the corner. He's a guy, ball in his hands, facilitator. Kobe can be the catch and shooter, can be that 6th man, our 6th best scorer, 1st best scorer off the bench. And then even though Kobe got better defensively last year, Ayo, get some confidence in him. Ayo, the better defender out of both of them, can do what kind of Steph and Clay do. Those were the names. But that Steph defensive... No, just wait. Just what I'm saying is not the players they are, but just the fact that Kobe's more the defensive liability. Ayo makes up for that, just like we see with Golden State or like you see with other teams. That's just the first names that pop to my mind because that's the first example I know of two guards that, hey, they work like that one's better defensively than the other. That's all I'm saying. I'm not comparing them to Steph and Clay.
Yeah. I think Ayo's the better defender, I guess, but we did see him make some mistakes last year, which we didn't see his rookie year, which was interesting.
And here's the other thing too, like he made mistakes. Mm-hmm. Eventually we gotta say, okay, turn the page, look forward to this season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he had a bad year. We get it.
Yep. I'm excited. I know we've talked about the next season for the Bulls. I'm excited for it. I'd like to see where we are, and honestly, this should be the last run it back. I don't even think we should have ran it back, really, but this should be. I
was going to ask you that. Chainsaw reading my mind. I'll ask you then, Chainsaw, because contracts, you guys were talking about Zach and stuff. We bring back Kobe, we bring back Ayo, both on 3-year deals. I feel like there was a reason to make them 3-year deals. But when it comes to like Zach, his player op lines up perfectly where if he declines it, Kobe, Ayo, Zach, all off the books. Could they be in a trade together in that 2025, 26 year? Did we line it up for that? But also the more important reason, this is DeMar's last year.
Yeah.
Is DeMar going to get traded this year? Is this going to be something where if we're not good enough, we trade him? If we are, we keep him and he walks in free agency? Like, is DeMar even going to be a Bull next year?
No way of telling for me. I said it before, and I'll say it again. I think out of the three, well, if we're gonna go the
out
retool,
of the three, you mean
route,
Zach, Vuce, and DeMar, right?
Yeah. So out of our big three or mid three, however you might look at them,
mid three, I hate it.
Yeah. I think that since we re-signed Vucevic at a contract that I kind of like for him.
Yet again, 3 years lines up with the Kobe and Ayo.
True, that's a good point, Ricky. That's a good point. I think if we're gonna go to the retool route, not the rebuild, but the retool route, I think that DeMar should be the guy to go. Obviously you'd get more for Zach, but DeMar's older. He's expiring. Is he gonna resign with us? I mean, I've heard rumors about us throwing a big contract at him, and I don't like that because I don't even know how old he is now. But
34.
I know he's like 34. Yeah. I've heard 3-year extension for him for quite a bit of some money, and I don't like the sound of that. I think that we should be on to bigger and better things by then.
I would agree with that. I feel like if anything, we would help facilitate a deal for him to go play with a contender at the end of his career. I feel like we're at the point where we appreciate you, DeMar. We love what you've done for us. You've won us a ton of games that we did not deserve to be in. With the fact that you just kind of take over fourth quarters and do your thing.
The Washington
also burnt
game.
us in the same way. But hey, that's cool. You've been a mentor to our young talent. Appreciate it. So if he wants to go play on the Clippers, on the Lakers, on a team out west, or even if it's East, I don't care. Go for it. Like I think easily we're in a position where if Zach goes down and has another injury, like within the first 2 months of the season, and we're looking like a mid-tier team again, and I mean middle of bottom to clarify, then yeah, we should absolutely take an offer on DeMar DeRozan. He's got half a year contract left. Move him. We understand what the situation here is. We understand the timeline does not match up for either one of us. Or at the end of the year, hey, we can always sign and trade you, get you onto a team where they might not have the contract opening for you right now, but we can attach a couple pieces. Boop-a-doo. There you go. So I feel like he is in his final, you can put the clock on now, 1 year maximum with the Bulls. I don't see an extension coming. That would truly be the biggest. That would just be terrible as a Bulls fan. And I mean this in the nicest possible way. But that's the most Reinsdorf move possible is to give a 30. How old do you say he would be?
30,
if we give him
he's 34 right now.
So he's turning 35 this year. So yeah,
let me see.
I feel like he had a fall birthday. I don't know why.
I'll double check for you.
But I feel like if we give him a contract till he's 38, I would hate myself.
Yeah. I mean, by the end of the year, he's close to 35. So yeah, I agree with you on that.
He will turn 34 in about a week, August 7th.
Oh, so he's turning 34. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
about
he'll
you?
be 34 when the season starts. Like
Okay. I thought
literally,
he was already. Sorry.
literally his birthday. Yeah, I guess Spot Rack is like, yeah, your birth. Like you'll be 34 when the season starts. So
We
like,
only update like every couple. Yeah.
yeah, his birthday is literally in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from Monday.
Tomorrow. Happy birthday.
As we're recording this. But
Future Lamar.
like, would it be, and I'm throwing this out devil's advocate, just conversation wise, would it be crazy if AK, because yet again, I've said the contracts, Vusi, Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu, Javon Carter, Dalen Terry, all of these guys all line up 3 years from now. 26, 27 is their free agency year. That's also the Zach LaVine player op year. Would it be crazy if the Bulls said, hey, we'll give you 2+1? Basically put him on the Zach deal. If you got 2 more years, then a player op year. So then virtually the 2026 free agency, we're open for business because we have nobody.
I mean, we could be open.
We
for
got
business.
Julian Phillips.
Yeah.
He'd be the only
Now.
one under contract if we made no other signings.
Who is even what available? This is spitballing here.
In
What available free-
2026?
Yeah, what would be the list on that? And then
I
number
can tell
2,
you.
Look, who's signed as a free agent in Chicago? Can you
Yes.
find that? Can you find the Carlos Boozer of that class
So-
for us real quick, Ricky?
Of
find it?
2026, I'll give you the
Yeah.
top 10 and you can
No,
find
well,
it.
yeah, go to
Yeah.
11 because that's the Carlos Boozer.
Okay, so the open free agents are De'Aaron Fox, Jason Tatum, Donovan Mitchell, Bam Adebayo, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Rudy Gobert, Jimmy Butler, Jared Allen, Duncan Robinson's our dude, Norm Powell, Steph Curry, Shea Gilgeous, John Collins, Julius Randle, KD, Marcus Smart, Terry Rozier, Robert Williams. I think AK is scheming something. Is
Do
he
you
thinking
think
we're going
that
to get
AK
any of this? Because we're not.
Do you think that they are confident enough that they will be
No.
there in 2026, 2027? Because if I were them,
We can bring Bobby Portis back.
if I were them, I would have a supreme level of confidence in the fact that Reinsdorf's not going to fire them.
yeah,
I feel like it is the safe. It's just we're the safest organization. If as long as they compete to be a playoff team, they're not gonna.
Well, and
We're not gonna pay a tax.
yeah, also
We did a laundry
hashtag.
tax one time in 20 years.
I haven't
like,
said it yet. Hashtag sell the team.
Yeah.
Because that's, you just mentioned the kind of purgatory we're in.
the bar is low.
Reinsdorf will not pay the tax unless we can compete for a championship. The only way we can compete for the championship is if we go into the tax, well into the tax.
Yep.
Like the Warriors, they don't care about paying the tax because they know they're going to be
Billionaires are
competing
cool.
for like
Billionaires are cool.
yeah, it's just like a one thing of like, yes, I know you don't want to pay the tax unless we're competing for championships, but you do know we can't get to that level until we do that, right?
Well, you gotta
Right?
set the table, though. You gotta set the table, and that's what we failed to do. Like, if you look at how the Nuggets went,
Mhm.
hey, Michael Porter, we know your back is, but we love what you do when you are healthy. So we're gonna be patient, and we're gonna keep you on a deal, and we're gonna, you played
Mhm.
really well because you were healthy one season. Here's your big deal money. That's fine. Jamal Murray, tore, don't matter. Big deal money. They had the right guys in place, and they were patient with it,
Big deal.
and
man.
they saw the end goal, and they made the tweaks along the way to get that championship secured. And I think that's just the frustrating thing is we wouldn't do that if we
Mhm.
had a
Yeah.
guy. And I think that's the frustrating thing is in my head, I'm trying to put myself in
Yeah.
AKME's spot, and AK is someone who was on the Nuggets. Like you're going, Lonzo Ball could be that for us. Now we know that his knee is just whatever it is. It's gone.
Mhm.
It may never come back, or he could have, the first guy in the NBA to come back from this knee issue where he's had to have cartilage put in and he's had to have multiple surgeries. Hopefully he gets right, after one full year after the surgery. And they're going, look, you all want to rush us, but we know that Lonzo Ball plus Zach LaVine plus Vucevic is a team that wins 50 games a year. And by the time that that's all lined up, maybe we will be in a position because we'll have built up the guys, these long-term projects in Patrick Williams, Julian Phillips, and Dalen Terry. Maybe that's what they're trying to go for, and they're trying to just slow roll this. I don't know. Is it a long shot? Absolutely. Is it delusional? A little bit, but as a front office, you got to see what everybody else has kind of been doing, and the fact that they're willing to invest in guys who have been hurt because they know the upside is when things line up, they line up.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. I never thought about it like that.
I'd prefer not to, if that means anything for you. But I do, like, if you look at the champs, I mean, it's you can make whatever agenda you want out of it. Obviously,
Right.
That's what I'm doing right now. But like, obviously, the Bucks have had issues with Chris Midd's health, Brooks' health at times, Giannis's health at times. But like, they know, they're like, we're damned. We have to pay because guess what? When we're all healthy, we're the number 1, 2, or 3 team in the NBA, like bar none. So you're just going to keep paying. That's why Brook Lopez leveraged the hell out of the Houston Rockets and then laughed at him and then re-signed with the Bucks. Like, they had to pay him. You have to pay to keep that window open. You have to be in the tax to have that window, and that's the Bulls haven't lined up their pieces yet.
Well, I mean,
just yet for that.
I also feel like, and I'm taking a clip of something I said in the MVP Discord. If you're not in it, join it. Link down below. When the Ayo signing happened, because I hit you guys with a wall of text with one of them. And the Lonzo part, I think, is very true of what I said, where I put the Lonzo news threw a wrench into the Bulls' plans, obviously. And the front office is either one, going to try to win, hoping Carter can fit the exact same role as Lonzo, or 2, try to be like competitive to make Zach happy, and then pray Lonzo comes back. The thing is, we're staying in basketball purgatory is not how you become successful. And I think the Bulls need to do is what I talked about. Maybe it is time, depending on how the beginning of the season goes. Get rid of DeMar. Get rid of Zach. In order to, because the thing you need, and I listed out teams, the Bucks with Giannis, the Sixers, Embiid and Maxey, Cavs, Mobley and Garland, Celtics, Tatum Brown, Nuggets, Jokic, Murray, MPJ, Grizzlies, Ja, Triple J, Bane, Kings with Fox, Suns with Booker. All of these, and I didn't even go through the whole list, all of these that are in common is they're the guys that the team has drafted. The top picks that the team has drafted to build their core. I feel like that's how the Bulls are going to be successful. We tried to buy our way to try to get a ring, and the plan would have worked if it was perfect. But unless Lonzo's coming back after this season, I think we pull an audible and build a team how you're supposed to through the draft.
We are not LA.
Tier of the draft.
We are not LA is the first thing you have to tell yourself.
Yeah.
Well, you mean like free agents coming here? I'm not even talking about free agents. I'm talking about building through the draft. That's what I'm talking about.
And that's my...
Yeah.
That is how I'm framing it, Ricky.
Okay.
On the counterpoint, we are not LA.
Okay.
We cannot get away with going to a championship because someone of LeBron James' talent will come here. A front office will end up drafting incredibly well, so we can flip those very good players for Anthony Davis. What, Lonzo, Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle are pretty good players.
No. I was thinking unless we draft Bronny James and then he comes here and then others want to. That's the only way we're getting free agents.
You go full delusion on that one. I'm cool with that.
I didn't say it's going to happen. I'm just saying that's the only way we're getting free agents, right?
The other top tier teams are obviously Miami Heat, who have the second best coach in the NBA right now, as well as Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler, put some respect on it. Like, he just happens to be one of the best playoff players we've seen in the last decade. Night in, night out in the playoffs, he will just elevate his game to a level that, we wouldn't see in the regular season. Guess what? Where did he come from again? I forget what team
Chicago.
Invested in him early on. Yeah. Yeah.
I still hate D-Wade. I still hate him.
We already covered that one. If you guys want to watch a hilarious,
I hate D-Wade.
A hilarious conversation about Dwayne Wade, go check out an older episode about
hilarious.
that.
It's true, but yeah.
No, it's hilarious to me in retrospect. But,
it's true.
But the point is also now you have like the new age team like the Phoenix Suns, where they had Booker, they got Ayton, they were able to get in CP3, and then you see them turn that team over from that young group, well minus CP3,
Well, they traded for then Durant.
They traded Mikal Bridges.
Yep.
And they ended up with a team with Beal,
Mhm.
Booker, Kevin Durant, still have Ayton. Like, that team's something. So, like, there are teams that build through the draft. There are teams that build through free agency or through trades now. It's not a one method. You have to do it all. Like, the Nuggets had to draft well, but then guess what? They drafted guys who did not work out. They drafted Bol. He's gone. They drafted a bunch of guys who they moved on. Bones Highland, someone who a bunch of people in our Discord really like, someone who I think rightfully got kicked out of town and now is persona non grata on the Clippers because guess what? Turns out being doesn't make you any friends.
Agreed.
So, like, you have to have a front office who knows where to cut the line of this is a winning player. We need to go find more winning players, or this isn't. He needs to go, and we need to bring in someone like Bruce Brown. We need to bring in somebody like, and they went and drafted who's the
Braun?
Christian Brown. Yeah, Christian Brown. Like, they went and found winning pieces that fit their system and fit their players. And it's a puzzle, and you have to put it together between the draft, between free agency, between trades. Like, it's not just a one-size-fits-all because you have teams like OKC who have 39 picks still, and they have a superstar-loaded young roster that we're all super excited to see, but they're not competing for a championship yet.
The point is, and I'm going to take yours and put something else to it, there's an order. It's like math. There's an order of operations here, Dave. And drafting comes before the trading and the free agents. You have to draft the pieces, then either trade or bring in the free agents. Like, you can't. And what we tried to do was trade for the people. Well, Zach was already here when AK came in, but like, we tried to do the trade and free agent part. We got too good to where our draft picks were too low. Oh, wait, by trading for Vucevic, we gave away a first round pick. Like, that didn't help us. We gave away two. Like, that didn't help us. Like, you got to do the drafting part first.
In the mirror universe, we are the Phoenix Suns, Ricky. Zach LaVine 2 years ago was compared to Devin Booker. They're very similar
in the
players.
Mirror universe.
Yep. They were very similar players, were they not?
A lot of people, the running joke was that they were the same person. Yes.
Statistically, very similar players.
I just like.
And then they went and they went one direction. They got Chris Paul. They got their veteran point guard to pair with Booker. They had young wing, and then they had they were able to draft Ayton because they bottomed out and they were able to get Ayton. Great for them. No arguments here. We went and we got a great starting center in Vucevic. At the time was top 5 center, probably now more like 7. And then we added in a wing who was super talented too, and DeMar, but the fit was wrong. Fine. We went and got ourselves a point guard to match that though. Like, we did, like, there are some similarities to the Suns and ourselves. And you know what? Health bit us both in the ass, but they were able to do better because they had better fitting pieces along the way. They had contingency plans. Cameron Payne, for whatever reason, was able to play like an actual NBA point guard for a solid 15 games for them. Something he's never done in the Chicago Bulls uniform. Different guys like that, though, like where they had stepped up, they were able to get that performance. They were able to go to the NBA Finals. They were able to see that success. We fell short because our contingency plan, our puzzle pieces didn't fit quite right. But just a couple of years ago, we were on the same level as them. It's interesting to see the moves they made versus the moves we made and how it paralleled out. They ended up with, multiple superstars now, and
at least we can both hang our hats on the same amount of rings, right?
Look, they also did not pick Luka Doncic, so nobody's perfect.
I'm speaking as of right now, Chainsaw.
I'm just saying, like, you could always do better, but we all, had an opportunity is what I'm saying.
I mean, go ahead.
Free agencies. Oh, go ahead, Chainsaw.
Chainsaw was going to ask a question. Go ahead.
I was just going to say,
and
I'm not going to, all right, I'm going to try not to get you started. Is Reinsdorf going to let us rebuild?
So,
is he going to let us do it?
Well, yes. Well, no. Like, because there's a part of me that says yes, because then he doesn't have to pay the tax. But then there's a part of me that says no, because then he loses out on the playoff tickets. The play-in tickets even. Like, that's the thing. Like, and that's why hashtag sell the team needs to start trending is This team is going to be in basketball purgatory because Reinsdorf doesn't know that you either have to be so bad to get top draft picks to build that way, or you have to, because he wants the playoff money, but he doesn't want to pay a tax. You can't do both. You're either getting the playoff money, you're going to try to win championships, pay the tax, or you're going to be so bad, you're going to get draft picks, you're going to build, and then you're not going to get that playoff money. Yeah. I'm sorry, the first round money. It's not like that's the thing. That's the thing that infuriates me sometimes is we're not even talking about like deep playoff money.
Right.
We're talking at most 2 home games, 2 games worth of money.
But by not being in the tax, the tax money is pooled up and divided amongst the teams not in the tax. And that is his prize. Mm-hmm. That is the wad of cash
that he gets to use on the White Sox.
That he gets to use on the White Sox. It's more so he values his money more than the opportunity of a championship.
Yeah. Well, because he has 6 of them.
But we keep showing up. The Bulls have led the NBA in attendance for how many years? Outside of the 1 year where we literally put up a billboard across the street from the arena to fire our front office. I think we've been number 1 or top 3 in attendance every single year. Like, United Center just sells out. It's what it does. Like, Chicago fans or Chicago fans, it's a major...
We're loyal.
It is the heart and soul of the city. Yeah,
we're loyal to till the end. Like, we're always going to be loyal.
He's going to get his money unless we stop showing up to games, and that's the only way we got changed last time. And hard to not show up right now, but yeah, I feel like that's kind of we're stuck in purgatory.
Yep.
But has AKME been playing their game because they're going, oh, you won't let us rebuild? We're going to draft 3 straight projects. We're gonna take Patrick Williams, who has no NBA skills in year 1. He can defend very well, but
he was
super timid. Super timid player, very shy personality. Didn't want to be in the spotlight. Didn't want to take the shots. Even when they were wide open, he hesitated to the frustration of many. But he was an absolute guy on defense. He would take the number 1 assignment every night, in and out. Guess what? Next pickup, Dalen Terry. Hell of a project.
Well,
coming out of Arizona.
Ayo was first.
Well, Ayo was a second rounder, but you're right. Ayo was taken, local guy. Hey, look, he got better every year in college. He wasn't a super project, though. I feel like he just kept getting better in college at Illinois, and he happened to be local, and he looked like... I mean, he was... He doesn't fit my agenda, Ricky. I would like to pass.
He does, because he is even though he's not super young, there were things he needed to get better with. He wasn't just and he was a steal. He was a first-round talent that we got in the second. First.
I would say he was a steal after his rookie year.
Yeah, no.
He's now back to...
No. At the time of that draft, he was a steal. We're not talking about last year because that didn't play into when he was drafted.
Sure. Neither. But then, obviously, Dalen Terry out of Arizona got to play next to Ben Mathurin. Very good team. Didn't always have the ball in his hands, but when he did, he was able to make the right move, get the ball to the right guys, and keep their team going because he's a talker on defense, super energetic, and that's what we've seen. Like he's a ball energy out there. He just loves playing basketball. He just doesn't have all the skills yet to stay on the court and contribute at the right level. And then we go ahead and we pay up 2 seconds for Phillips. Yeah, Julian Phillips and Tennessee, who is defensively, again, physically great. Absolutely, somebody at Tennessee who got to showcase that, hey, he can lock people up. He's got a great bounce to him, but he can't shoot. Yeah. And Summer League, he apparently was able to string together a couple good performances shooting the ball, to my surprise. Watching that live down in Vegas, I'll tell you, I was a doubter. I assumed he was going to spend way too much time in the G League because shot's not there. Well, but guess what? So we literally took 3 projects in 3 years. And I don't know. It feels very sly on AKME I know that we're not going to win a championship. Yeah. So I'm going to take the guys I want to take. And also, we're going to be in the middle regardless.
And also, I know they weren't drafted, but the 2 undrafted guys of Carlick Jones and Sonogo, who are...
And Justin Lewis.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
is
Lewis
Justin Lewis
undrafted.
under contract currently? Because Spotrac doesn't have him under contract currently.
He is a two-way.
Okay. Because they don't even have him listed as a two-way on here. Okay. They have Sonogo listed as a two-way.
I want to say right now he is the assumed final two-way deal.
Mhm.
We haven't locked it in, but with
no, isn't the Euro player?
Bidham?
Yeah, he was the last.
Sonogo, and we have 3. So Bidham, Sonogo, and I assumed it was Justin Lewis.
Yeah,
was the third filling the spot because we were talking about whether it was going to be Javon Freedom Liberty.
Yeah. If he's not the third and we don't have a third two-way.
Okay, Wikipedia, he did sign a two-way deal on March 7th of 2023.
Gotcha.
Okay. So Spotrac's wrong. Okay.
So and again, two ways can be slashed up in about 8 seconds. So it's not like a lot.
Well,
but we got really good guys, we think, on two-way deals. We did have to let JFL go because we chose Ayo Dosunmu over him, unfortunately. And we're gonna, fingers crossed that this isn't Max Strus 2.0, because I swear to God, Ricky, I will not let it go. I'm just letting you know now.
Have faith, brother. That's all I'm saying. I have a little faith. Arthur, I'm asking for some faith, Arthur. The question I'm gonna throw this to Chainsaw. I'm gonna take a thing from you, Dave, throw it to Chainsaw. Out of these guys, not Ayo, but like Dalen Terry, Carlick Jones, Julian Phillips, even Sonogo, I guess you could throw him in there.
Sonogo, love him.
Are they gonna get actual minutes? Are they gonna get time in the NBA to get better, or are they just gonna sit on the bench or play in the G League again?
I don't know. So I think, and it was part of the discussion we had before this podcast was, I think the nights that Drummond gives us 50% of his effort, maybe we put Sonogo in. Maybe we do. I think, there might have to be some injuries in order for Dalen to play. Unfortunately, unless his jump shot gets better from here.
He had one good game in Summer League. He went on a high note.
He did. I don't know. I think Julian Phillips does get some playing time. His shooting looked better. What was it, 5-6 games? But
we did get a shooting coach this year too, which was a smart addition finally, to just get somebody dedicated to with a proven track record as an organization who, when they laughed when AK came in and it was like, you guys had one player development person for your entire team. No wonder you look like you do right now, kind of a thing.
That like, and an injury
this offseason, well, our medical staff year over year just scares the crap out of me. But they finally announced hey, we're happy to announce we got a shooting coach we're bringing in who's got a great history track record. He's not the best. He's not like the guy who was on the
He's not
Spurs.
the shot doc?
No, well, that's a different guy. But yeah, the guy who was on the Spurs forever, and then he signed with OKC. I forget his name. He's really well known, real well respected. But we got a guy at least. So there's hope that Julian Phillips, Dalen Terry, their shots will come along.
Yeah, and it's kind of a
Chip England.
Yeah, that
gotcha.
Guy's
shooting guru, as ESPN calls him.
That guy's a guy.
I hope so. It's kind of a tough question because, again, I feel like honestly, if Dalen Terry had somewhat of a jump shot, I think he would play.
Ayo didn't have one last year, and he got to play.
True.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Last year, we should have got to see a whole lot of Dalen Terry pretending to be a point guard while really just being a super switchable energy guy. It's like when Javante was out, why not have baby Javante?
Right. Exactly. I mean, you're going to get the effort from Dalen. You're going to get the energy. You're going to get the defense, and he makes the right passes. He throws some heaters.
Dude,
he does.
And I liked him coming out of college.
Yeah, and it's just the jump shot, man. And honestly, I think the same thing with Julian Phillips. Although Julian Phillips, his position is, I guess, more of our needs. So, I mean,
he was a straight DJJ replacement. It felt like they went to the draft and went, so we're losing the guy who is long, athletic, and can jump out the gym. The list says, yep, that's Julian Phillips in the draft. Let's go ahead and take him.
Yeah.
I feel like they 1-to-1 that one a bit on the nose.
Makes me wonder if we would have jumped into the draft if we hadn't lost DJJ, but I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, it's just it feels like our young kids. I'm hopeful for Sonogo getting minutes. I think he's the easiest one to see get minutes just because we've seen, like you said, the motor issue sometimes with Drummond, or an injury for a couple games here or there.
Right.
Between Drummond and Vucevic going out, I love him as far as somebody who's just incredibly smart upperclassman who can come in and help us win games. Yeah, Phillips will get minutes this year. I feel confident about that. I genuinely don't know what to do with Carlick Jones though. Like he's a weird guy who's just on the outside. Same with Justin Lewis. Like those two guys are like
Carlick Jones back-to-back G League MVPs.
Yeah, might be. It might be that situation where like we're just gonna have to give him up because we don't see any minutes for him unless we hit full. Like I said, nightmare situation where Zach goes down with like another torn ACL. Like that's like, all right, who wants Alex Caruso? Who wants DeMar DeRozan? Y'all can have dibs. I don't care. We are clearing house on cap room. We will take anybody back, and we will play the kids.
That's what I would love. Great. I'll be completely honest. Like, I either want one
of two. It's fun to watch rebuilding teams. We can all admit that.
Okay, let's be honest. The Bulls in Chainsaw, this is before your time. The Bulls following Michael Jordan's exit were terrible to watch.
Yep.
As a kid, it almost like, because yet again, that was when we were like 9, 10. I have more memories of watching basketball from like, it's almost like I became a general basketball fan watcher, because I remember like more moments from other teams during that time, and then coming back into it with like Ben Gordon, Kurt Heinrich before we get Derrick Rose. But I either want this season to just be a coast year, whatever happens, happens. Lonzo comes back healthy. That's the ideal pie in the sky. Probably not going to happen. The other route is we struggle. We trade DeMar, and trading DeMar sets the floodgate open to what you just said. Open sale at the trade deadline. We're going to play the kids. We're rebuilding. Like that would be the other option that I would want. I either want pie in the sky, not going to happen, or full rebuild. And like one of the things I think about is we didn't talk about the Ayo deal yet. We're going to save it to the end. One question I had about it, because even though it's an overpay, I like it. You guys don't. The question I was going to ask is, and this is after Dave, you talking about AK, did we give him $7 million a year because he was one of AK's guys, like ones that he drafted? And it was exactly like you said, hey, we're just going to take projects. This is one of our projects. I'm keeping him. Like it was probably I don't want to pay you that. No, I don't want to pay you that. No, I don't want to pay you that. Well, I don't want you to walk. Here you go. Like, is that what that was? He just paid him because he's one of his guys and he wants to see that he'll be right, because AK seems like I'm going to be right about these projects.
I agree with that sentiment. I think that that does strike me as something he would do. And I think that off year one, if you told me that we would be paying Ayo Dosunmu $10 million a year, I'd be like, yeah, sounds about right. That's what we're going to re-up him at. So, like, obviously a down year last year, but the faith is still there, $7 million a year. He's still probably our backup point guard, and he might even get starts for us again this year, depending on how we end up, like seeing Javon Carter in that starting lineup versus Ayo. We're going to get a bunch of different looks from Billy to start the year would be my guess. I would expect them to mix it up pretty consistently. So $7 million a year, but the fact that it's a 3-year deal also, or like a 2+, I guess, is effectively, right?
No, it's 3.
It's a 3
just
guarantee.
A flat 3.
Yeah. Oh, no op.
No,
wow.
No op. Flat 3. Him and Kobe got both of them got flat 3s.
Hated so much more now.
Well, and like, I threw this out.
I'm just
here.
saying that is a sign of confidence from the front office. Yes.
Yeah.
The fact that there's not a team up on the end of that second year into the third.
Is it also wrong to say that it's not a bad contract because in that third year, if we're selling pieces and he doesn't pay up, that it's easier to
have $7 million.
Well, no. It's easier to add a $7 million dollar deal onto a contract to fill in pieces rather than like, because you and I do trade machines all the time, and it's usually like, well,
the new CBA in combining contracts gets a little more complicated. I don't. Oh my God, it's been too long since I read the whole post about it that summarized like how it changes the way it can basically combining a bunch of salaries for one larger salary no longer works the way that it used to. So I'm just gonna stick an asterisk on that one and say like ish. I'd have to go back and look up the exact details, and I can do that for a future show. But it's a maybe. It's a tradable piece is a tradable piece as long as he's playing up to the $7 million value. Sure. My concern is just, are we going to see that value out of him? And I don't know.
Nobody knows. That's the thing. Even I don't know, and I'm an Ayo fan.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Chainsaw?
Same thing. I think number one, like you said, it is a sign of confidence from the front office. I totally agree with that. He's stubborn, man. Our front office is
You're talking about AK is stubborn?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's proven to be pretty stubborn. Almost stubborn to the point where it might even be hurting us. And that's kind of where I'm a little weary about that. I'm like, I don't know, guys, But yeah, I totally agree with what Dave said. I think, he has faith in it. It's his guy, and he's going to ride with him. They've been saying it. They did the same thing with kind of, Pat. They have the utmost confidence in that guy. Yeah, that's kind of my take on that. I hope. Look,
I mean, we all hope he plays better, right? Like I said when we were off air, is if you're a Bulls fan, you're not going to hope that he doesn't play well. Just like I ain't Kobe White's a trash can, but I hope he plays well. I obviously don't want him to be a trash can. I just think he's a trash can.
Oh man, when you say that,
I would love just put the Steven Crowder thing up. Change my mind. Like I would love for Kobe White to change my mind.
If Kobe
year over year improvement, why is your mind not changed?
I was gonna say that. If you watched last year, and obviously I know you did.
Yeah,
dude, he maybe not shot the ball.
So
better.
The thing
now, if we're talking about a guy who has like a 57% true shooting, he takes more than half of his shots from three. Seems like a pretty. He's not negative defensively anymore. By the way,
here's
doesn't turn the ball over more than he gets assists.
I'll give you the answer that you're looking for. My biggest complaint with Kobe White right now is what you said at the beginning. AK, his role is going to be the sixth man. My biggest complaint with Kobe White is that in order, like coming off the bench, I would love for him to be a guy that scores maybe at least 16 to 17 a night. Like 20 a night would be perfect. That might be asking too much. The problem is,
where are those shots coming from?
The problem is when he had great scoring nights, he needed 30 plus minutes or 30 upwards to 30 minutes to do that. I would love to see him be able to score better and score more with less minutes, being more efficient with the minutes that he's out there. Because let's be honest, if you're the sixth man, like he's not going to be getting 30 minutes every single night.
I mean, typically six men do have about 28 to 30 minutes, though.
Well, no. Like what I'm saying is he needs like you look back later in the year, the big games, most of them, he needed like 30 to get there. And it's like,
the problem you're asking for a point total that is not dependent on him because we have three guys who average above 20 a game. So you're asking our fourth, if that option, to score 20 a night in a limited amount of minutes.
And yet again,
now I don't think that's very reasonable of you.
No, I'm saying this goes into also Billy Donovan and his rotations. But like with me, how I see Kobe is he should be in some options the number one scorer because he should be out there when Zach and DeMar are taking rests. he should be the guy that's like, okay, sometimes you play with Zach and DeMar, but there's a lot of the time you're going to be out there when they're taking their rest. You're out there with the second unit. That's when he should turn into, I'm the number one option. And that's where we should see them come from.
If Zach and DeMar are both playing in the game, they're not both out of the game. That's historically how Billy Donovan's runs rotation.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It goes into Billy's rotations. We do
not have both of those guys off the court.
And
for more than
let's be honest, we're probably not going to be able to.
Something.
Yet again, we're not going to be able to because of Chainsaw set our forward situation.
But we have 3 20-point game scorers, effectively of Vucevic, DeMar, and Zach. Like, I know Vucevic was a little under because he's had to sacrifice so much of his shot count.
Yeah.
Like, there's just only so many shots to go around, and he's playing with guys who don't shoot, like Ayo Dosunmu, like Alex Caruso, like Patrick Williams, who should be shooting. He should, like, we're all asking Patrick Williams to put up 16 points a night. I think that, like, you got to understand, there's only so many shots that can go up in a single night, Rick. You're asking for things that
20 points is probably too much.
But considering he averaged under 10 last year.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. Kobe White needs to average more than 9.7 a game. That is my biggest concern with Kobe is if you're going to be the 6-man role, I'm going to need more than 10 points a night from you, big guy. Like, that's just it.
Right.
Like, I'm going to need more than 10 a night. That's the crux of it. Especially when coming out of, like, the whole big thing is, oh, he's a scoring guard. He's a scoring guard. All I hear about is his scoring. And then I look and I go, oh, 10 points a game. That's the biggest
but he's
thing.
doing it efficiently.
I don't care if it's efficiently. I need more than 10 a game. That's the point. I need more than 10 a game.
Play your head coach and move on from DeMar DeRozan.
I would
because that's the only way he's scoring more than 10 a game. Is with a different coach and without DeMar DeRozan on the roster. And there's no other way for him to produce more points with this roster because there's already so many shots spoken for.
And like I said, I did bring up Billy's rotations. Billy may be the crux of this.
Sure. You could say rotation. No, I just mean Billy Donovan as a whole.
Yeah, we've said Billy Donovan. That could be part of it. New coach.
Rotations can't fix the fact that you have 3 guys who each need 20 shots a night.
Yet again, I'm saying you could do it efficiently and give me more than 10 a night. That's all I'm saying. Maybe it's a new coach. Don't care. Whatever needs to happen for that to happen needs to happen. And if that's a new coach, it's a new coach. But right now, I don't know if it's a new coach. What?
18. DeMar averaged 18 shots a night last year.
Okay.
Zach, what do you think?
I'm looking at it. He averaged about 11 2-pointers a night.
18 shots a night. So that's 2 guys.
Yeah.
18 each.
Vucevic.
So you're telling me there's 0% chance
14.
Kobe can average more than 8 shots a night?
I'm saying that we have 3 guys and it's 18, 18, and 14.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying it's a large portion of the nightly shots that go up is already dedicated, spoken for, and there's no answer. Like there's no conversation, I should say.
I mean, let's also be honest. Like
you have Patrick Williams and Kobe White. Those are your next 2 guys who could score.
Well,
both of us would like to see both of them shoot more.
Well, let's also be honest here. I'm going to throw this out here.
Sure.
Goran Dragic, 6 a night. Patrick Beverly,
Goran
5.
Didn't take 6 a night because he didn't play for us.
It's literally right here.
Yeah, for how many games?
Yeah, no, I'm saying the averages, Dave. Like
but the average doesn't matter because he only played for fucking 25 games.
What I'm trying to get at is, like, yes, he only played certain games, but when he was there 6 a night, then Pat Bev 5 a night. You also have there's guys that are no longer on the team. Those shots need to go to somebody. I hope they just don't go to DeMar and Zach.
Well, so let's pretend
because that would be bad if those shots just went to those 2.
Transferred over directly to Patrick Beverly, right? Mm-hmm. 6 shots to 6 shots. We could just pretend that that's just a straight handoff.
Close enough. 5.9 to 5.4.
Yeah. So now how many shots is Javon Carter supposed to take? How many shots is Torrey Craig supposed to take? I'll wait.
I didn't think about those 2. You're right.
So we brought in 3-point shooters who you're not expecting to take shots.
No, you're right, Dave. I said you're right. I didn't think.
So where are these shots coming from for who's taking the step back?
Well, then
is Zach going to shoot less? Is DeMar going to shoot less? Or is Vucevic going to shoot less?
one of them has to then in order for Kobe to have more shots. Am I wrong?
I'm
saying one of them has to. Like, I don't know who it is, but one of them has to. But also we
want to see growth out of Patrick Williams, so he's got to get more shots too.
Yeah.
He has to because this is year 4.
So then what it is, it's the team's built wrong. We should just blow the whole thing up.
Look, man, no one's gonna argue against that.
No, that's if you want to put imaginary goalposts out there for your player development. I think what we saw out of Kobe, even though he had less points this year, less overall counting stats, was his best year as a player in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
He was a complete player. He was someone who was not going to be hurt by having him out there. He had confidence in his shot. He was still able to attack the basket off the dribble. He was making smart passes.
Right.
Like, it was his best year. And you're not going to get the counting stats out of it because the volume's not available for him to do that. Like, the only guy who we want to see volume out of right now is Patrick Williams because we see the tantalizing that he's got. He's got an incredible frame. He's got a way above average handle for his size. He needs to have the confidence. He's got a silky smooth mid-range. Just let it rip, my guy. Like, that is the guy who we need to see get these shots up. So I think that as happy that, as happy we are with our, or I should say as unhappy as you are with our player development, I think you should choose a different perspective to look at it because I think counting stats isn't going to get you happiness because there's not that much space available for internal growth. Like, you just have to get better with your limited piece of the pie that you got.
I look at it, though, and it goes, I want to see more scoring-wise out of Kobe.
You got to see less out of somebody else.
Yeah, that's fine with me, though. But, like, I want to see more out of, because maybe then we just need to blow it up. Because, obviously, Zach and DeMar getting everything ain't working.
I don't think anyone's arguing with that.
Yeah, I think the more we look at it, it leads to that option, Ricky. At least in my opinion.
Because here's the thing, and I know this is a bad rabbit hole to get down, and I wanna. Someone's gonna say, "Well, Ricky, the situations are different. The teams aren't built the same." I get that. But the thing that I see, and yet again, I know I'm looking at like six man of the year players, but I'm using that as
award, by the way.
Yeah, but I'm using that as the reference where it's like, okay, last year Malcolm Brogdon, about 15 points a game.
Yeah.
Tyler Hero, the year that he won it, yet again he was averaging 32 minutes a game as a 6-man, insane. 20 points per game.
Brogdon was.
Montrezl Harrell, the year that he won it, was averaging 14 a game.
And empty calories.
And then Lou Will, let's see what I gotta count back years on that one. 2018, 2019, 20 points a game. Like, the thing with Kobe, and yet again, you could say, well, Ricky, this is just you looking at stats. I would love to see 13 to 15 a night from Kobe. I get what you're saying. Shots have to come somewhere. But like, if we want him to be our 6-man, we gotta give him the keys. We gotta give him the keys to be the number one scoring when the second unit's out there. You say that Zach and DeMar, one of them is always on the court. Maybe we need to trust the young guys that, hey, the second unit can run it, and both Zach and DeMar can take a rest together. Maybe that's how it needs to go. Like, but what we're doing now ain't working. If I'm seeing less than 10 points a night from Kobe White, like, I'm not going to be happy with that. And maybe me going too hard and blaming it all on Kobe is too much, but I'm still not going to be happy with that. I'm still going to sit here and not be happy with it because for someone who all I hear about is scoring, should be giving me more or have the opportunity to give me more than 10 a night.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, I expect Kobe to do more too. Honestly, I'm thinking 12 to 14 from him this year too. But also at the same time, like Dave said, I think looking at it through a different perspective, he really did have the most complete season we've seen him have. He's defending now. He's making hustle plays. He's taking charges, which I think I've never seen him do before, unlike this year. In the passing lanes, he's making smart passes on the dime. I think all around he had his best year. And yes, the stats do not. You're looking at it. Yes, he's averaged what 15 before or 16 in the past.
I think as a rookie, yeah, he was at like 15, 16, yeah.
But I don't think the stats do it justice. But I do agree with you. At the same time,
last year was his second year when he averaged 31 a night. He had 15.
15 in year 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He had 13.2, then 15-1, 12-7, 9-7.
Yep. I'm looking for more.
And that 9-7 was on the most games he's ever played in a season, too.
Gotcha. I'm looking for a little more in the scoring department myself. I'm in agreement with both of you on this one. But looking at it in a little bit of a different light, I guess it would be my recommendation. And maybe you wouldn't think he's a trash can. You
know what I would love to see, by the way? And maybe this is me just completely giving up on this year already. DeMar gets traded. Zach gets traded. Just let Ayo and Kobe run the team. Ayo at the 1, Kobe at the 2. Let's see what let's see what the pair does together.
That we have our own pick this year, so why not?
Well, and also it's the polar opposites where Ayo, very down year, and nobody wants to think that possibly he could get better, compared to Kobe White, had a better year, and there's no possible way that he could digress a little bit. I'm not asking for him to digress. Obviously, I'm a Bulls fan, but there's polar opposites here. I'm just saying.
You are a wordsmith, Ricky.
People get bad. People just because you had one good year, I would love for him to build on. Digress. I digress.
You can digress. Yeah. Kobe White would regress.
Well, he could also digress too.
Yeah.
Upcline, incline.
That's not how that works.
Upcline, downcline.
Yep. You want him to be on the downcline, but he is indeed on the upcline.
He could be he could go on the downcline this year. It's possible. I don't want him to.
Yeah, it's always any player could be. Any player could be.
Just like Ayo could be on the upcline. It's possible.
He absolutely could be, but right now he's currently on the downcline, and he did not play any summer league minutes, which means he's not working out with DeMar DeRozan. He's not playing in the summer league.
He didn't play summer league minutes because AK didn't want to pay. Maybe AK should have paid him before summer league, and then he would have played in summer league. I can't. No. I can't fault a guy for trying to. Dave, you are the one that's like, hey,
we're letting JFL go to Canada. Javon, freedom, liberty to Canada.
Dave,
that's on you, Ayo.
You are a guy that is all about players getting their bag, and when Ayo, even though it's $7 million, got his bag, you're like, maybe you shouldn't have looked for that much money.
No, maybe you should have played basketball because you stink right now. Well, that's my point.
He would have needed to sign, and he wasn't going to sign for what he thought he wasn't worth.
Well, I don't know what was offered to him. It's hard to imagine.
The rumors were we were offering him 3.5 and he wanted 5.
We ended up paying him 7.
I don't know. Maybe
what that kind of terrible negotiations do we do?
No. Yeah. Maybe the other thing that was thrown in is, and this is the only thing I can think of, is he might have came back at the Bulls and said, "Hey, this is what the Raptors are offering me. We don't know what they
didn't make an offer though."
Okay. We don't know if they had negotiations, and maybe Ayo was telling them, "Hey, this is what the Raptors are telling me they'll give me. They're ready." We don't know. We just know on the reported numbers of 3.5 and 5, whether you want to believe that or not.
Yeah. I don't know.
But he got his bag. Any final things you guys think that we need to hit about free agency?
Why aren't we signing Javante?
Yes. I want to ask question.
Why did we not sign Javante back? Was he not one of our best? He was our energy guy. He was our bounce, and he actually got better as a player. He was a good shooter by the end of it. He was absolutely 5 Javantes on the court. I don't know what else we wanted out of him. I don't know what he didn't give us. I'm so at a loss for why we're just moving on from him. DJJ, I understand. He had been kind of played out of the rotation towards the end of the year.
Yep.
Totally fine with that. It's cool. But Javante?
Agreed.
So I will say, this is from Zach Buckley at Bleacher Report. The clip says, This is from 12 hours ago from when we're recording this. So Chicago could start its search in-house as Green has spent the last 2+ seasons. Spent it with the Windy City Bulls. He was on our team. Still, if the Bulls have reason to be confident about his health, then they should also have reasons to want him back. They've seen the kind of impact that he can make as a low-maintenance player who won't take touches away from Vucevic, Zach, or DeMar.
Right.
Okay, it's just a should they sign. He didn't have any.
Yeah, there was rumors he's going back to Boston.
Boston, yeah. I see that too, that Boston is making a push to add him to the roster.
I'll miss him.
Yeah, same.
And the one weakness was the shot, and he was shooting.
I mean, because we've got the money from the Lonzo Ball injury thing, right? We could use that on Javonte.
$10 million. Yeah, we have $10 million up to $10.8 million.
So
that we can use. The
article I'm looking at here, Bleacher Report, has a Bulls minimum contracts to pursue as NBA free agency steals. Javonte Green's on the list.
Yep.
Austin Rivers is on the list.
Pass.
And Christian Wood is on the list.
Would kill me.
Dave, you were going to say you saved it for the podcast. Why don't you? So wait. No. All I want to ask is, so I asked if you wanted Christian Wood. You said yes, but you don't like Christian Wood.
No. Okay. So Christian Wood and Kelly Oubre are two players who have some talent in basketball, very different players, but the thing they share is that both of them suck at winning basketball games. They will get theirs, but they will not help you win basketball games. Their ultimate goal in basketball is to put up points. Pretty much that's it. They're empty calories. Like, I don't understand why they have had as many opportunities as they had. Kelly Oubre got to chuck last year. I think he was coming off of a 20-point year. And nobody wants him. Like, even though when Golden State gives up on you and you're an athletic wing, like, man, you probably don't up. Like, they're like, this guy's a idiot who does not help us win. So it's very tough for me as a Bulls fan to go, I want that guy on my team. I want a shot chucker. You know what, Ricky? Yeah, let's go get a shot chucker. I want to hear how upset you're going to be when people get less shots up. And Christian Wood Christian Wood's a player who worked his ass off to get into the NBA. Credit to him for it. He earned those minutes. He played great. He put up good stats. But apparently he also has become a little entitled. He thinks he's better than he is. He has been notably called hard to coach, not a great teammate. He's looking out for himself too often than looking out for the team. There was a little bit of time actually at the beginning with Dallas where he was playing well for them. I don't know what happened. Maybe with Kidd, maybe there was some not front office, but coaching and him had some issues. But it just seemed like you saw him default back to the old Christian Wood where he didn't care. He came in, he took his shots, and he didn't blink twice about it. So I don't know. He kind of gives me like, maybe there's something still to Christian Wood. And I think he's just trying to use the Bulls as leverage to get a Lakers deal, to be honest. But I think maybe Christian Wood, there's some saving grace to it. I think he would be a good pickup for the Bulls because if nothing else, we would just be able to roll him out there at the 4 or as a small 5, and I wouldn't even care. He would just shoot. He would shoot. Yeah. He would shoot, and he would shoot. Some nights you need that.
Who do you want with that money, Chainsaw?
Oh, man. Aside from those two guys, I mean, who else is even worthy of it? I mean, honestly, I didn't even look. That's a great question. I was thinking Wood.
Because is Wood and Oubre the only options? Like, because like DJJ, I'm trying to think. Did he sign elsewhere?
I don't believe so.
So really, he was like, "Oh, I'm going to opt out," and still hasn't signed anywhere.
He's rumored to maybe take a minimum from someone, playoff contender. I forget which one. I don't know. I think Phoenix was a maybe for him, but
Top availables that I'm looking at according to Spot Rack. Will Barton's out there, Christian Wood, Kelly Oubre, Hamidou Diallo, Garrett Temple, Kendrick Nunn, Ish Smith, Romeo Langford, Terrence Davis, George Hill, Justice Winslow, DJJ, PJ Washington wouldn't be bad.
PJ Washington's the weird guy.
He's an RFA though.
He's an RFA matched at 10 mil.
And here's the thing. I love PJ Washington. He'd be great. But we can only offer a 1-year deal. He doesn't want a 1-year deal. He wants 18, 20 million, which he probably deserves 16 at least. But I don't think they want to pay him that. They already are we could do without you. We're bringing back that other guy who's a horrible human being off the court. We're adding in Brandon Miller. We already kind of got something going here. We've got a great 5. So honestly, if you make a little noise, you're the odd man out. It very much feels like they could take it or leave it kind of situation with him.
So I'm gonna throw out 3 names. They're all forwards. Yeah. Because Chainsaw, you said that forward might be something we need.
Yeah, we need size. We don't need a 7th guard. 8th guard. 8th guard.
If I'm looking at 3s more than 4s, though, these are the names that jump out. TJ Warren. You've got Toscano Anderson or the supernova of offense.
Me. Who's that?
Terrence Ross. Dave's nickname for him, the supernova of offense.
Yep.
What kind of stinks is all 3 of those names?
We're not going to get Terrence Ross because then Kobe White is never going to get more shots.
Nope.
Yeah. All 3 of those guys are not worthy of that.
Nope. Not a single one of them deserves $10 million.
Would you rather try
you
for?
Could,
would
you could cut it down? It doesn't have to be a $10 million deal.
Would you rather try for a power forward instead? Because with those, there's Markieff Morris is still available. This list is very small. It's Winslow, DJJ.
I'll take Winslow.
Washington, Haslam, Morris, Iguodala, Green, Thanos Antetokounmpo, Trendon Wofford. What?
Oh, Trendon Wofford absolutely should be our guy. Unironically, but say the line. Say the Max Kellerman line.
Oh, if the aliens are coming, I want one guy, Andre Iguodala.
I want Iguodala.
When in Gabriel? Wenyen. James Johnson, Dominic Barlow, Kabengele, and I believe this is the guy I hate because he was the one with Virginia Diakite. Yeah, Diakite.
Diakite, yeah.
He was blonde in college, and I couldn't stand him at Virginia.
I would say that Trendon Watford would be our best pickup, as he is still young. He showed a lot of skills that most people with his size don't have. That's why I loved him coming out of LSU. I would love to see him in the NBA in a Chicago Bulls uniform this year. Realistically, I think Justice Winslow might low-key be a fun pickup for the Bulls because he has in the past been able to play a little bit of point guard.
I love how
he's a good defender.
Both of these players were on Portland last year.
Yeah. I would say I would take one of those 2 guys with not obviously the full 10, but I would, I'd feel comfortable. Both of them have size. Yeah, why not?
And the thing is, that's the thing.
We're talking about a 15th guy, 16th guy on the roster.
We can't.
We're not swinging for the fences.
We also can't split it up, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
We can use up to the 10. So, at that point, it's why not just use it? Why not go up to the 10 to make sure he signs if it's only for a year, anyways?
Yeah.
Makes me wish we applied for that a little sooner. Come on, AK. Come on.
Well, so the thing is it's us and then independent doctor from the NBA has to approve that guy's never coming or not coming back that year. And the problem was last year we did not have a confirmation on Lonzo's status. He was still attempting to rehab and come back was still the plan up until probably a little bit after the All-Star break. Right around the All-Star break was when it was the official no, he's done. Yeah,
it's been a long one, Dave. You were more right than I. I thought that, hey, you know what? We wouldn't have a lot to say closer to an hour rather than what we're running at is we're 2 minutes out from an hour 40, boys. on this one. Does this mean there's these are what you're expecting on the horizon? 2 Hour Bulls podcast.
Is this what you want?
Is this what you want? First off, one thing I will say, well, couple things, but all into one. First off, remember, help us come up with a name. I don't want to just call it the MVP Bulls podcast. I can if we don't come up with like a name that we like. Also, Chainsaw, you passed the first test. We'll see how day 2 goes. Still on that 10-day contract, but
Sounds
I
good.
see some promise here. One thing I will say, we don't know the exact start date that we will start these, but these will become bi-monthly podcasts, so 2 a month starting when the season officially starts. If you want to get what days they're coming out, mostvaluablepodcasts.com has the calendar. They're not on there yet because the NBA has to come out with their
Release
schedule.
their official dates.
But
We have assumed dates from Shams.
But the rest of our schedule, like the draft room dates, the NFL stuff that we have, all those dates are on there. You can know when everything is going to be dropping exactly. Okay. Also, we have some, not going to say what it is yet. We got some things on the horizon content-wise for the website. But the Bulls podcast, at least, the schedule will be there, mostvaluablepodcasts.com. You can go and check that out right now. Thank you guys for everything you have done watching. If you've made it to this point, thank you for watching for almost 2 hours of your day. Let us know what you guys think down below about everything Bulls, what you want to see from us this year. Thank you, Chainsaw, your first episode. Thank you, Dave, your a lot of episodes.
That's not count, man.
It's a lot of episodes. For
if you hear this late, what do you think of the top knot? We in, we out. Back to the ponytail.
Dave's
you
like ponytail.
Next week? You tell
Dave
me.
Put it down. Dave at a top.
You tell
knot.
me next week. Ricky goaded me into the top knot tonight.
I didn't gut you. I just asked a question. You got all panties in a jumble about it, man. Like, I don't know. But thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. And as always, have a good day, everybody. As always, we'd like to thank the people that make these videos possible, our patrons whose names are displayed on the screen now. If you would like to become a patron, go ahead and click the Patreon icon in the bottom right. And if you'd like to check out another video from MVP Sports, hit the video in the upper left. As always, thanks for watching.